Okay, the question of the day is, should the man be responsible for majority of the bills in the house no matter his income?
No. I don't see the point in it. You're saying no matter his income, so even if he's making less money than me, which, you know, might be true. Even if he's making less money than me, which most likely will happen, why would I make him pay majority of the bills? Why can't I be 50-50 or even me paying a little bit more, which I don't want to, but I might. Why can't it be 50-50 then? I don't see the point in making him pay most of it.
I mean, even if I could reconstruct the question, should a man pay majority of the bills even if he's making more money than you, or if you're making the same amount of income? I would not, like, this is 21st century, honestly. I don't think that women need to be waiting around for the man to be making any, to be making all the moves. Because what does it say about you? What you doing with your money? Like, what you doing? You saving all your money to do what? Are you making our lives better by saving your money? Are you, like, you're a woman in the 21st century, pay your shit. Play your part, you know? This is a miserable topic to me. Women stop laying on your backs and not doing things. Like, honestly, boss up. Pay your shit. Do your shit. Move on.
But if my wife, if my wife says she will pay majority of the bills, like, look at her like, then you do you, but okay. That's what you feel comfortable doing, but
and definitely as a woman, if I'm making more money than you, I would never, like, what if
voluntarily you end up doing it?
Yeah.
Without thinking, oh, I'm paying.
I pay more money than my man. Like,
once you go into it knowing, like, okay, this is my person. We're in this together. I think once you're in it for the right reasons, you're no longer thinking, listen, I paid all of this last month, it's your turn to pay or whatever. You don't think of it as I doing more than you. However, me, I want a proper man who's going to be like, don't worry, I got you, even though I can definitely get me and you. Okay. You know, like, I love that, the initiative, that like, I can take that protective, I can take care of you kind of thing. But, like,
to force him to do it?
I'm not forcing you, and at no point do you need to be 100%. Like, I am completely capable.
Okay, I think we're all taking it from the perspective of, like, a relationship thing where people are, mutually feelings. But of course, there are some people who are just fully entering things like sugar baby thing, right? So I mean,
but that's an understanding.
That's a whole different. Like, that's
that's already understanding.
You're my sugar daddy. I have nothing to bring to this relationship.
Nothing.
Your sole purpose here is to take care of me, so I should be
I share bills with someone who gives me money.
Imagine that. Imagine me paying the bills when you pay. No.
So I got a take for my man, right? So you in this perfect relationship, right? You were making more than you. She paying more bills, right? Right? Now over time, she's a woman. Yeah. All right? And you making less money. I just feel like your manhood can start to deteriorate. I feel like she could start to take jobs at you. Like, you half a man, you can't even pay the electricity bill. And you're around here, you want to tell me when to cook?
But suppose you run your business, whatever, and then your business collapses, and then she have to foot the bill.
Hello, you think a woman care about that?
Yes.
When I first started for a year, you gotta get back on your feet at some point, though. But that's what I'm talking about, that pivotal point when you don't.
But
I'm trying to say, like, the tides is turned right. Right? She only understand for so long, but you gotta carry your own weight. And I'm trying to say, like, when you're back against the wall, and them jobs coming at you, because, I feel like. But why the women I've dealt with all in my life, they really don't hold no punches, especially when I fucking up.
So that's why I say you messing with birds. You put your
because a woman can call her when I'm fucking up, she's a bird? I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think that's a woman who's holding me accountable.
Yeah, let's be realistic. Let's say, okay, we just have a relationship or marriage here.
We could talk about both of them.
Okay, let's just say it's a relationship, right? Like, you and the guy, let's say y'all live together, you're working, all these things, he has a business, and then he just, as you said, the business collapsed then. And then you're obviously going to be supportive, you're going to be helping him through these things, whatever you're working, so you're paying the bills. And then all of a sudden, he just like not doing nothing. He's not looking for no jobs. He over there playing games.
Not even showing that's the difference, because now you accepting that.
That's something
versus,
different, but
that's different from life happening to you, and you just being lazy. I don't want to be with no lazy guy who don't want to do nothing.
To that perspective, right? What if it's like, you feel as though he should be doing something else when he feels as though like he's working on a craft a certain way, where it's like, oh, maybe he just studying something, but you was like,
bro, you've been studying this for like 2-3 years. Like, you're
Example,
good at learning
musician.
things, he
You
paying
mean the
attention to something.
rappers?
But you'd be like, why don't you just get an actual job? Like, you'd be like, how long are
Okay,
you trying
but to backtrack a second, why does your manhood have to be questioned when you're trying, you're struggling to get back on your feet and your woman is paying you bills? I don't think that your manhood has to be determined by whether you're taking care of the
Because
house.
that's
I agree with that,
all
but
men-
sometimes women do that. Like, I can't even say that's like a societal thing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they have a free pass to do so. I'm just saying, why does that have to be the question? Why do you feel like less of a man just because you can't put the bills and provide everything?
I feel like this isn't even our question to answer because women didn't put this expectation on men.
Yeah.
Men put this on men.
Yeah.
Men said, "Oh, for me to be a man, I have to be the provider." So I don't let that. It's not my fault. You feel like that. Like I tell you that you feel like that about yourself.
Tommy with the hot dick.
Jesus. I agree with that. But because of that too, right? You might just be like, all right, but since you put that in place, I can double down on it as opposed to go against it.
Exactly.
No, because
You might
listen,
decide to say, well, you set this up so I can go with it. Like, instead of saying, like, I don't like the system how it is, but you're like, oh, well, you set it up like this, so I go on with it. Yeah, you less of a man because you ain't working.
Okay, yeah, but if you're a man and you subscribe to that system, also like, you're saying you're fucking with birds by you turn seeds. What's going on with that?
Yep. Tell them.
I don't know because growing up in my house, like I didn't go through the regular like gender norms of things. Like my daddy was the one cooking, cleaning, and working, and like taking us to school and doing all of that. So and plus he was paying the bills. My mom used to contribute her little way. Like she would give something towards the bills, but my daddy would pay the majority of everything. And he'd cook and he'd clean. My mommy hit the lottery with my daddy, but I must say. But these days in the 21st century, I don't think it's. I have no problem as a woman holding my things, like holding myself down. I don't mind saying both of us in this bitch using up shit. So why can't we go? Sorry, I'm cursing a lot. Why can't we go 50-50? Like. That mindset is so lazy to me and bummy and like I see stuff on Twitter about girls saying this even going back to the conversation of girls saying, oh no, for you to get something from me you need to pay me and I'm having this and that with you like it's just so I want women to love themselves a bit. Like you are not a piece of like a collection to just buy and I don't know.
I don't know, but like even like looking at like my parents' relationship, like my mom pays the bills in the house, so my mom is the one that like works and everything. Like I'm not saying that my dad doesn't work; he still works, but he's old. But like he stays home, he takes care of my siblings, he cooks, he cleans, and he's the one that buys the groceries. And my mom's like, pays all the bills and everything, and they still like it works. And I grew up seeing that. Well, not really grew up seeing it, but like that's how it works in my household. And then like even like looking at it in like a different in my opinion, I would not want my partner paying majority of the bills because you never know what's going to happen in the relationship. Like if I'm become used to you paying majority of my bills and everything, what's going to happen when things go sour? Are you going to hold this over my head? Yeah. Like what's going to be the situation here? Like how are you going to like put this against me? Like I'm the type of person, I'm paranoid AF, so like I don't know what's going through your mind, so I want to make sure that I can still stand on my own 2 feet if something was to happen. Like I don't want you to be like, yo, I paid your bills here, you're gonna have to do this for me and this and that. No, my dog. Don't
I'm
do
just
that.
saying like
I think Dre's been trying to speak.
I was going to say, so I just feel like the idea is just very antiquated. It just sounds like the typical patriarchal structure of a family. I mean, whether this is a relationship or a marriage, it's still supposed to be a partnership, right? And so the two of you together are supposed to decide, okay, this is how we divvying up the responsibilities. Maybe, he's paying whatever the understanding is. He might be paying more, or maybe something happens like we were mentioning where, he lost his job or something like that. And so whatever that dynamic was has to change. But it's, whatever y'all agree to. I understand all relationships aren't that, pristine and work out that way. Some people do have toxic traits and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's like a silent agreement between partners because like going back to my parents, like I never like really like saw them sit down and say like, okay, like tell my mom goes to my dad like, Dennis, I'm going to pay all the bills and I'm going to be the groceries. It's like something that they kind of like fell into. Yeah. Like it's something that was like a silent agreement that was made, and like and that's how I'm going to be based in my life. Like dog, like if you're going to come into the relationship and you tell me you're going to contribute nothing to this and I'm not like I'm supposed to do everything, we have a problem there. But we're going to come into this as a partnership. It's a 50-50. Like, I don't know, I don't care whichever way we split it, but we're going to split it regardless. I don't care, period.
Okay, now how do y'all feel about okay, so how do y'all feel about God, I can't figure what I want to say. Shit,
I got a question. Paying the bills pro rata. That meaning if you make more money, you pay more bills. How you feel?
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Why would you want me if I'm making less than you?
Equality.
Why would you
You're
want
a
to
strong
burden
black
me
woman.
if I'm actually your
I
partner?
know
Why
you
would
can
you
do
want
it.
to place all that burden on me if I can't meet you at your
Because I
level?
believe in
That's
you.
inconsiderate.
I believe
I'm trying to push you forward.
I try to push
to the next
you
level.
to the supreme being. You want to be a male model. You want to walk around with these niggas. These niggas is roaches. Trying to push you to the supreme being.
Anyway.
I remember what I was going to say. So how do
know what
you
I'm
so how do you feel about the so how do you feel about the society situation where like a lot of women end up being single mothers, right? And they end up footing all the bills, but yet at the same time there is a lot of push for women to say, oh, there's a lot of current push for women saying like, oh, I'm not doing shit unless you pay me, I'm not doing shit unless you pay me. But then at the same time, men are like, oh, I have to provide all the bills. But then the men are never there to provide the bills anyway, even though they're saying, oh, my manhood has to be questioned if I don't pay the bills.
Because, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, okay, like, now, like, single mothers and everything, but then, like, women are now, well, the younger generation and everything is always the same. Like, yo, like, I ain't gonna do shit for you unless you, like, give me some, like, dough or some paper and everything. But then I just feel like it also has to do with, like, something to do with, like, the way that you were raised and brought up as well. Because, like, if you grew up in a house where your parents, like, I'm not gonna say that, like, my mother gave me everything that I ever needed and I ever wanted. So, like, I never really questioned it. But then she also raised me to believe, like, yo, if, like, don't rely on someone to be doing that. But then you also have some parents that are like, okay, like, I see you, like, doing all this, but you can always rely on me to do all of this for you. And you have some females that are coming up and they're like, I don't know how to do shit. And that's just the situation and that's what's happening. And then I can't remember the second part of your question. We're just gonna leave that alone.
Like the second part of what I was asking is like, how like what's your opinions on is there any correlation, like how does it work where there's just like a pattern of so many men are just not there in a relationship, right? The woman is footing all of the bills. Like how but is the masculinity of the person intact for the person who leaves?
They could be lying. They could be telling their boys two totally different things as to what they're doing in the house, or they could be lying straight off. Like, it's nothing about masculinity here. They could just be lying to their dogs.
But that's the difference between public image and his actual masculinity.
Exactly. That's why it won't be questioned, because they don't know what's going on in the household.
I feel as though they see the family, bro. I feel like a lot of times, because a lot of people is like, they can look and see their boys doing wrong. I don't feel like they just listen to them. You could just see the wife and be like the way he's talking, the way he's hanging out, like, bro, you don't be with that family. Like, you know, I wouldn't say like you literally just watch your, like, you don't see your friend family at all. You might see them, like, bro, this can't be like, but he telling me marginal what is actually going on. And then if what also happens is, say you buck the wife, whatever, somewhere else or that girlfriend somewhere, they can say your friend is doing X, Y, and Z, and you can tell from that energy, like, I don't know, like, that seems right, because looking from how he is react, like, they don't be the same thing. I just say it like, you can figure it out. You wouldn't just take your guy's word all the time, like, just ultimately, like, yeah, clearly he is a great husband. I feel as you, as someone watching, you be like, that's not what I get from
He's a great husband, but she had a black eye the last time I saw her.
I have a question. So, for like y'all, how would y'all feel if a y'all girl was paying all the bills? Like, how would that make y'all feel? If I make more money than you and I pay and everything, like, do you look at me a certain way? Do you look at, like, you know how it's saying it messes up men's masculinity if they don't pay the bills? Does that make me more masculine than you if I'm paying the bills? Like,
I could give you a walkthrough.
what makes the chief of the house, you think? What makes it saying that I run the house? What are the requirements of, am I saying it right? Like, what are the requirements you must have in order for me to say that I run the shit? Just because you're the man, or just because I paying the money?
All four of us can answer it. Let's say we should just go down the line or something, as opposed to just.
Because it is a guy's answer.
You can start from there and just go down. I mean, like, for me personally, I can resent my wife or whoever, like, for doing that, but I can take it into myself and internalize it as me as a failure in myself, because I always, like, personally, I just want to be someone self-sufficient just in general. Like, I always want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I don't want to be a burden to someone. That's how I can look at it. I wouldn't like resent them or feel. I feel as though I put more pressure on them when I could be relieving the pressure on them, and just put pressure on me so it can push me to, like, what's the whole entirety of the question? I'll make sure.
Like, what makes what qualifies you to be like the head of the house? Like, is it you have the most money, or is it you are the man, or how do you feel about me as the woman paying the most money towards the bills? How does that make you feel as a man? How does it make you look at me as a woman?
I feel like it's like I guess multiple criteria to come for this head of the house thing. If we have a family, it's like how you like, I guess, integrate with the family. How you manage like the family relations, like the children and stuff. That's one thing. Like handling the literal household and financials is a whole other thing. So like the combination of those two relationships, you know what I mean? So I feel as though when you could like perfectly, I guess, I don't know, blend those two together and achieve like I guess a higher level of both, then you are like the head of the house.
Answering my question though, like I don't know how it is growing up. Like everybody has different households, but like in my household, it was my daddy is the head of the house because he was the man, and also like he was paying the bills. So that made him whatever daddy say, daddy like goes. Whereas some women are, they pay the bills in the house, and they, you know, running their husband and running the kids and telling them what to do. Like, I'm just saying, what qualifies you? Is it your personality, your I don't know.
I have a better idea. I have a better idea what you're asking. Now I can say specifically, like in my household was again like I had a unique household. The home I lived in, like the house, that was my grandfather's house. Like my mom wanted to live with the father and stay in the house, like to watch over him and take care of him after like his wife died. And my dad had his own house, but he was like, he loved my wife so much he lived in that house with them. So I didn't look at it like, from my perspective, I didn't think. I just know like it's my father or whatever, but I show my father paid bills in that house, and my mom also paid bills or whatever. So I don't know if I would sit down and say, well, my dad was the man of the house when my grandfather's house he's in, you know. I don't know how that like used to play as a dynamic for him, but like, so I don't have the understanding of that, like from my growing up. But like how I look at it now, if I paying the bills and trying to like watch over, like covering the most financially, whatever is one thing. But like I say, for me, it's like a family dynamic too. Like I wouldn't just say, if I pay bills and I don't talk to my children, handle my children at all, I don't feel as though I'm a head of my household, you know what I mean? I feel like a family is a serious thing. If I keep my family together, but if I can't pay the bills, but I make sure my family stick together and do certain like elements or like don't feel as though we pour whatever, like certain mental attributes to it, I feel like that's still important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like some people like to be in control, and then some people are just naturally, whether it's like nature or nurture, you know, whether they're raised that way, they're just naturally that way, you know.
I think
like they are more subordinate, but it's like, I have a question just in general, like how would y'all individually feel if you were to get involved with somebody who is naturally like, I want to be the one in charge?
Can't do with it. Oh, you mean the boys?
Just in general.
I can. You mean narcissistic, right? In that sense.
It could be narcissistic, but it also
because I am that way. I am that way in my relationship.
That's what I thought too. I thought I was more dominant, right? Yeah. Until I started speaking to guys who were more. I won't say they were dominant, but they were more male. They had
She be the real nigga.
She
She was stepping on these betas and when alpha bullet
more
was like,
of a male energy.
Alpha male energy.
Like you get what I mean? Like you could be dominant but still be respectful of my wishes also. I thought I liked running the things and I like things how I like it until I found somebody who was just like making the plans, doing things how he wanted to do it, but still respected my wishes also. Like I don't mind that. But if I'm in a relationship with somebody, let's say later on down the line and we get married or whatever, and it's just like all their plans are theirs, like they have to say how things are running the house and what am I the maid? I just don't get the point of that. But you would not before I married somebody like that.
And I'm not saying it as to like I like to control things, meaning that I'm the toxic person in a relationship and whatever I say go. It's just I know nobody could sway my mind when I already have my mind made up on something. If I say I'm doing this, I'm doing this. If you ain't falling in line, I can do it anyway. That's that's the type of person I am. I'm very, not to say, I'm not trying to say, baby, I'm not trying to say like he's a submissive or anything like that. And I'm the dominant in the relationship. I'm just saying, me, I know what I want. I know what I gonna do. So if you don't want to do it, that's on you. You don't have to follow me, but I'm doing it anyway. Not to say that I'm the woman in the house. Like,
no.
I don't think I could be with someone that's like more dominant than me, I guess, in a sense. Because I'm already like a large personality and I like things done a particular way, and that's just me. Like any of my friends can attest to this. I am the one planning. I'm the one that needs to do everything. Like, I need things to be done in this particular way. And if you're going to come in, like, sure, okay, you can try and plan a little bit. But I know in my mind, it's going to,
She knows how it is time we roll out.
A man can let you plan. A man can let you plan and still be an alpha. Like,
It's just the energy. energy.
It's just certain moments when it's time to stand up and he stand up, you like you realize like, oh, this is a crucial moment, and he just like, pick up, you just get it.
Exactly. But if it's me, got to be making all the plans. I gotta be telling you this. I gotta be picking out your clothes. Like no, like
It's a child.
like we're going. I got people we're going out. Tell you what time to.
It depends on what level you're taking it to. Like if it's everything, you got to do it this way. I say we're doing it this way. Say no, let me just do this, and you're like, no, it has to be done this way. It's like, okay, this can't really fucking work.
If he can't dress himself, you have a problem. My dog, you can pick your own clothes.
I think the general consensus that we have is that shouldn't be like that, and that you should work out between yourself and your partner how you're going to sort things out in the house, and that's just a very old-fashioned approach to handling your relationship.
Yeah, and also don't be a bum to ladies,
do your thing. Like,
don't be a bum.
That's it.
Just on the camera.
No, young kings, if you find that bag, secure it, bro. Ride that ass all the way to the end.